Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. This weekend, I attended my 40th high school reunion, and this was our fourth high school reunion. Now, not only did I attend my reunions, but I've been the chairperson for all of the reunions. Each of the reunions has had its challenges, and this one was the same way. Now, the reunion is behind me, and I want to share with you 3 lessons that I've learned from the initial planning, the forming a team, and also executing this plan. I share this also with hopes that as you plan an event and manage a team, it might also help you. The 3 lessons all begin with the letter D, as in Delta, to help you remember them. The first lesson I learned was to decide. I had to decide if I want to lead and be in charge of this event for the 4th time, especially during COVID and the pandemic. Once I made that decision, I began to develop my own strategy. Now, the good thing is that the past 2 reunions, I planned them all from Colorado Springs by phone and email. However, as we all know, with Zoom, it's a lot easier to communicate, and that was one of the means of communicating with my team. However, my only regret is that I didn't start early enough. This year, I started back in January, which was 6 months before the reunion, whereas normally I would start a year out. Part of my decision to lead this group or this event was to not only serve my classmates, but also I wanted them to have some fun. The second lesson I learned was to delegate. Now, by nature, many of you know, I tend to be a perfectionist. Some might say on a scale of 1 to 10, I score a 20 as being a perfectionist. And I don't disagree with that. There may be some truth to that. However, sometimes perfectionists have the mindset that if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself, which means that delegating to others can be a challenge and not part of the picture. However, in this case, I recruited a team of classmates to help me with the planning and the execution of this particular reunion. And boy, am I glad I did. The early months this year, we met on a monthly basis. But the past couple of months, we started meeting on a weekly basis through Zoom. A number of people credited me with the success of this reunion. However, I tell them the success was primarily based upon the team of people that I was able to pull together to execute this reunion. The third lesson that I learned was to disappear. Now, you may be wondering, that's kind of strange. You decide to lead the group, and then you decided to delegate. Well, what I mean by disappear is once I've delegated to the committee members, I then disappeared and allowed them to fulfill their roles and responsibilities. I did not micromanage them. However, I did have to follow up on occasions just to make sure that the job was being fulfilled. Part of disappearing meant encouraging them, helping them where they need to be helped, but also giving them some direction when that time came. Some have asked, how did the reunion go? I give you a fourth D. It's done. No, by all means, it was a huge success. And mainly because from the responses I received. Now, though some may call me the impetus behind the reunion, I still think the impetus was the committee that was helping me execute the reunion. To summarize, the 3 lessons that I've taken away, and there are many more, from planning and executing this reunion is 1, decide, 2, delegate, and 3, disappear. If I lead the next reunion, I hope to carry these lessons into that event. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.